everybody? Yo, welcome back to Sneaker Reaction Podcast, man. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Yes, we're back with another one. As I'm uploading, as I'm take, as I'm shooting this video right now, we just got hit with stage 6 load shedding. So the power is only coming back at 6, and it's only 2. Yes. Anyway, yo, my humble apologies, bros. As you can see me, I'm tired. My body is sore, my neck is sore. I was performing, man, so I had rehearsals the whole of last week, bro. So didn't really find time to upload videos about release updates. But got a chance last week to go out, and I was at Total Sport, and Total Sport is actually having a sale right now. So I'm gonna upload 2 separate videos. I'm gonna upload this one, and then I'll also upload the video of me going to. I went to 2 stores. It was Take Town and Total Sport, and Total Sport had a good deal and a fair amount of shoes there. So hey yo, so today's podcast is different. I'm gonna talk about a shoe brand that I've never even reacted to, and funny how that brand is one of my favorite brands, and it's so underrated right now. And because of a lot of things that's going on, dog, it's like it never existed. At some point, this brand was the biggest brand in the world, bro. At some point, bigger than Nike and Adidas combined. You understand? At some point. So right now, I want to talk about its history until the 90s. Then I will also do a part 2 where I talk about its history from the 2000 until now. Then I'll drop a part 3 talking about its downfall, how its downfall happened. So yes. So today we're talking about Reebok. So Reebok was founded by J.W. Foster and Son. Now let me break down the history. So J.W. was an eclectic shoe manufacturing company it was located in Bolton, England, right? Manufactured by J.W. Foster in 1895. It was the pioneer in using track spikes for runners. So it's one of the pioneers in using track spike for runners, Olympics and stuff like that. Yes. And also before I get into more details, this company also produced army boots for England in both World Wars, World War One and World War Two. So yes. So this is where Reebok comes in. So in 1976, that's when Reebok came in after the company was defected, and then it was renamed Reebok, right? Now, the founders of Reebok are J.W. Foster's grandson. And it's crazy. Now it makes sense why Reebok was such a big shoe in South Africa, Growing up in the early 2000s. I'm in 2000. And when I look at most of my pictures back then, my parents, my uncles, most of them were wearing Reebok. So, the word Reebok means antelope in Afrikaans. The word Reebok means antelope in Afrikaans, and I'm shocked there. So now we're getting into the details now. So in 1976, Paul Fireman was a businessman at that time. He noticed the brand, how he used to work, he used to promote with JW first before it became Reebok, right? Paul Fireman at the Chicago NSGA, which is the National Sporting Goods of America show, and then he introduced the shoe into the world, right? And after that, maybe in the space of like a year and a half, and then Reebok reached $1.5 million in sales after it was introduced. So I would say 77, 78. Right now, during that period, Reebok was picking up momentum. Right, it wasn't really that much, but it was picking momentum. Now, the big part or the big spectrum of Reebok happened in the 1980s, right? So, in 1982, it debuted the Reebok freestyle aerobic shoes. I'm sure you're wondering what that sound is. If you're not from South Africa and then you hear this type of sound, that's what we call an Uber Eats. So it's people walking around, people pushing around trolleys full of veggies, and then they blow the horn like doop it, doop it, doop. That's why you're hearing it. I don't know if it's, you see, where, I wonder where yet. Anyway, back to what I was saying. So in 1982, the Reebok debuted Reebok Freestyle aerobic shoes, making 13 million that year in sales, $13 million. And then in 1986, that's when the magic happened, bro. I mean, like, that's when the magic happened, because it was getting more and more popular in the NBA and the NFL. All right, and that year it made $115 million in sales. The same year, right? That year, and the same year, if not the following year, Reebok made close to $1 billion in sales, bro. $1 billion in sales, overtaking Nike, bro. And I'm not just saying by a small margin. At that time, at that time in the 1980s, $1 billion was a lot, bro. It was gang. It was a lot. I'm not gonna lie to you. So when I say to you that Reebok, at some point Reebok used to be bigger than both Nike and Adidas. This thing was everywhere, bro. You go to the NBA, it was there. You go to the NFL, it was there. And then in 1989, it introduced the Reebok pumps. Those were like very popular, and at that time it had more than 100 pro athletes wearing them, including Shaquille O'Neal. You know him, I am the guy. So people do sleep on Reebok. People think Reebok is nothing. Trust me, dog. I grew up seeing Reebok, dog. In the early 2000s, Reebok was the it in South Africa. I'm not gonna lie to you. Maybe let me just say around black people, around black communities. You know, I grew up wearing Reebok. Reebok shirts, Reebok underwears, Reebok socks, Reebok shoes, caps. And I used to take them from my parents at that time. Reebok was everything, dog. With its sign, you know how it looks like, right? Two lines and another line going on top of the other, bro. So you would see that, to be like, oh, Reebok. You know, it was a big deal, bro. Reebok was a big deal. Like, seriously. And mind you, at that time, our parents are growing in this, and they're growing seeing Reebok, right? So obviously, when they became parents, or when they became in a stage where they were able to afford, they're gonna buy Reebok. You see, like us who can't really afford Jordans and stuff like that, SB Dunks and Yeezys and stuff like that, when we get to a point where we are able to buy, we're gonna buy those shoes. We ain't gonna buy the newer stuff. You understand? At that time, towards the early 2000s, SB Dunks were popping. Our parents, that was new school to them. Then we are growing up in that, alright? Now we are wearing Jordans and SB Dunks because it's things that we see growing up. So when we are older, we go back and say, nah, I've always wanted to own an SB Dunk. Then you do that. I've always wanted to own a Yeezy. Then you do that. But at that time, when you are still embracing the olderness of all these brands, new stuff is coming out, right? And you're not gonna really focus on them that much because you're like, okay, it's newer stuff. I don't care about them. It's popular. It's everywhere. I want the rare stuff. You understand? That was me in the early 2000s leading towards the 2010s, bro. And when I say early 2000, for me, as far as I remember, I can date back to 2004, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. Because I even had a Reebok back at some point. Yeah, I understand. And Reebok was pretty cheap, too. Like, it's fucking affordable. You know what I mean? So, yes. So, as I said, I'm going to break them down. Because if I had to talk about it, this video would be close to like 30 minutes long. So now I don't want to do that. So I want to break it down. So this is a part 1 of it. Then I'm going to drop a part 2 and a part 3 of Reebok. And then maybe a part 4, you know, just opinionated as how I think and feel Reebok is, what causes downfall, and stuff like that. You know what I mean? So, yo, before I close this video, you know, I gotta talk about my favorite flavor, you know, Aquele Vive, no hydration, calamansi. I like this. And like I said, I haven't drank it, bro. Like, I haven't. And I have 3 left. and they're expiring January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September. It will be hot on the 25th. I'll drink this one on the 19th. Make sure that you follow me on all my social media platforms. Follow me on TikTok, follow me on Instagram, follow me on this channel, subscribe to this channel and my other dancing channel with the Street Jupiter. Everywhere, just write Street Jupiter, my name will pop up. Not my name, man. Yeah, my name will pop up in my face, you know what I mean? So in the favorite words of Street Jupiter, I know how I like to close every YouTube video. Adios.